Hello everyone, this is Willow Dove here for another Let's Play of Long Live the Queen. I have previously done an introductory Let's Play of this series. I will try to go over some of the basic mechanics and plot elements in this as well, but not as in-depth as I did the first time, so if you need a little bit more explanation or a refresher, you can go and check out that first video. Today, we are going to be the ultimate magical girl, Elodie. We are going to win the day with the powers of magic, and we're going to actually the ultimate goal is to create a new magic user in our cousin Charlotte. So that's what the achievement we're going after today. Let's see, what is it actually called? I think it's called Shared Power Increased. And you also unlock a Gathering of Light as a major achievement. So, yeah, it's going to be super fun. We're going to get started. And this is our father, Jocelyn, the king. He is currently regent for us, as we lost our mother, the queen, very recently. So Elodie has been pulled out of her other school to stay at the castle and to really buckle down and learn how to be a royal. So the main object of this game is to get Elodie through her 14th year to the end of her regency so that she can be coronated as queen, as true queen. So, and that could be very, very difficult because everyone wants to kill you. So anyway, here's our father. He says, "We're almost home. Your room is just the way you left it." Elodie's sad. "I know it's hard to leave your school and all your friends, but I've arranged the best possible tutors for every subject. You'll have to work hard this year to prepare yourself for your 15th birthday, but I know you can do it. You'll learn quickly and you'll make a wonderful queen. It's what your mother would have wanted." Elodie says, "This is not what Mother would have wanted. She wouldn't have wanted to die and leave me." And the king goes, "No, she wouldn't. But sometimes bad things happen. We have to pick up and carry on. All of Nova depends on us, on you." Elodie sighs. "I will be here to guide you until your coronation, but the decisions you make are ultimately up to you. Come, your maids are waiting." So, we're going to skip the tutorial this time, and I'll try to just do a brief overview. This is the skills screen. So you can see we currently don't have any skills in anything. We have to take classes in order to increase our knowledge and abilities. This is the mood screen, and the mood will affect what bonuses and penalties you get to your learning each week. So right now you can see that we have 4 points down into depressed. It exists on a scale, so if we were to get points in cheerful, it would go up that way towards the center. The moods take precedence from left to right, so if you have a tie in any skill, or in any moods, I should say, then the one that's farthest to the left will be the primary mood. But we don't have a tie. We have 4 points down into depressed, which makes it much more than any of the other moods. So that is what we're working with right now. She's obviously very sad and she's afraid because her mother just died. So right now we have bonuses to expression, which is this category over here, and animal handling, while we have penalties to royal demeanor, conversation, and athletics. You can see within each of the broad topics you have 3 sister skills, and in order to progress past 50 points in any of the one sisters. You have to have 25 in the other two. Let's see, I think that's really all that we need to go over. So in the first week, we're going to actually take Foreign Affairs. And I didn't really read these last time, but they're kind of interesting. So you study the relationship of Nova and its nearest neighbors. The borders have been mostly peaceful in recent years, except for the problems with Ixion to the south. However, trouble may be brewing in Pyrrhus as well. And then 4 years ago, the Duchess of Hellas tried to foment an insurrection in northern Ixion, just over the Galban River border. Not only did that fail, but in retaliation, Ixion pushed troops into southern Marie, and they are still refusing to leave. So that's important, and that will come up later. So Elodie says, "What's all the noise outside? Who's here?" "Oh, it's my cousins, and my aunt and uncle." So this is our Aunt Lucille. She is not blood related. She is married to our maternal uncle. "So, darling, we are so terribly sorry to hear about your mother, Fidelia." "Thank you." "You look well, niece." He looks rather haggard, actually, but that is our uncle. He's our mother's brother. "Hi, Liddy." I don't like that nickname. I don't really know how to pronounce it. But this is our cousin Charlotte, the eldest cousin Charlotte, I should say. We apparently have two more, but we never see them. "Hi, Lottie. Haven't seen you in ages. Will you be staying long?" "Yep, Mummy said we'll be here all month." "Maybe we'll have some time to talk later." So, first week we attend service. So you can see that takes off a point of depression. You attend services in the castle grove, letting the peace of the ritual calm your heart. So now we took a cheerful point from talking to our cousins, I believe, and a negative depression, which acts the same way. So now we are pushing back towards neutral in this category. And you can see now that the moods are tied, our primary mood takes precedence to the left and is afraid. Now this week we actually have a penalty to royal demeanor, but we're still going to study composure anyway. And it's really hard in the first, 10 weeks, I think, to get any points in royal demeanor because of the heavy mood influence from our mother just having died. So we didn't have enough to take up to 10 points, so it doesn't give us a description until the afternoon class. So you practice deep breathing exercises, learning to find and maintain a sense of inner calm. So Elodie says, "What's that commotion outside? Father, what's going on?" So this is Juliana. She is the Duchess of Ersul. "I have come to pay my respects in honor of your mother." "You have no respect or honor. It's because of you and your powers that my wife is dead." "What?" "I am a Lumen, as was she, and like every Lumen, I am willing to give my life if necessary to protect our domain." "Your line has been traitors for 200 years. I won't have you corrupting my daughter." "That is for the Crown Princess to decide. Elodie, your mother trusted me, and I have much to teach you." So, we have no reason to think that she's lying right now, and we really want to learn magic, so we're going to let her stay. "I want to hear what she has to say." "She stays." "As you wish." So now we're going to play with toys. You spend the weekend holed up alone in your room with your favorite toys. It's childish, but you feel a bit better. So our mood is still afraid. And this week we're going to study court manners. Oh, I forgot to read them. My bad. Oh, I don't have anything selected. That's why it won't let me click the button. Okay. You review the correct greetings for guests according to rank and when to extend your hand to another. All nobles expect their due honors. As the person of the highest rank within the domain, no one may sit at any formal event unless you give them permission, and no one must ever turn their back on you. If they do, you are intended to recognize the insult. So Charlotte's back with her creepy red eyes. He loves me not. Lottie, do you have a boyfriend? Not really, I just like to play with the flowers. All of a sudden, the Duchess of Ursul rushes into the garden and points a sword at you. No, not at you, at your feet? Princess, don't move. So we're going to look down. You look down at where her sword is pointing. There's a snake in the grass. You can't help it. You squeak and jump back. The snake tenses and prepares to strike. No! Your cousin pushes you aside, and the snake's fangs sink into her leg. Lottie! Too late, Juliana swings her sword and cuts off the snake's head. Lucille comes out. What's going on here? Your daughter's been bitten by a milk viper. They're poisonous. Get an herbalist right away. I will treat my daughter. I certainly can't trust anyone here to keep her safe. I'm sorry. I don't feel good. We will be returning home to Merva immediately. Your aunt has a point. Milk vipers are not native to this area. That snake should never have been here. Someone may have tried to kill you. Will Charlotte be okay? I don't know. So that was an eventful week. We're going to attend service. And actually, do I have any room? We're just gonna start saving on top of this over here, so. So now it's week 4, so we're going to want to study elegance. Okay. Yep, too afraid. You practice walking along a narrow rail, taking each step carefully and focusing on your balance. The castle seems quieter with Charlotte and Emery and Zara and their parents gone. It's certainly not empty, though. It seems like we get more servants every day. I was so worried about Charlotte after that snake bit her. But her mother said she's okay, so I guess it turned out all right. Maybe she has a guardian angel. If only that were the case. Okay, so I think we attend court. Was I supposed to attend court earlier? No, just this week. So sitting in on court sessions is no fun at all, but it pleases your father and it may be important for your future. So now we're on week 5 and we're going to study presents. You practice wearing the royal regalia and looking at yourself in a mirror. Young as you are a queen of the blood. You are your mother's daughter. You are a force to be reckoned with. One of the maids approaches for your attention. So this is Alice. My lady, couriers have arrived from the Duke of Sedna. We have a Duke of Sedna? No, my lady. The Duchy of Sedna is in Talace, and that's an adjacent country. I think to the east. They have brought you a letter and a gift. Condolences on the death of, deeply regret, best wishes. Oh, what a beautiful necklace. It might not be appropriate for me to wear a man's gift in public, though. People would think it meant something. So this time, we had some court manners, so we know if we wear that necklace, then we're essentially announcing our engagement to the Duke of Zedna. So this time, we're not going to wear it. It's important to maintain the proper image. So we're going to visit Juliana. What is it you wanted to teach me? First, I need to know if you have your mother's crystal. What crystal? The source of power for any lumen is a particular magical crystal. Once you've bonded with it, it becomes a part of you as long as you live. The royal crystal has been passed down from ruler to ruler for generations. It belongs to you now, except that the king may be keeping it from you. Do you have a crystal? Of course. She holds out her hands. Light flickers above her bosom, and then, with a shower of sparkles, something takes shape. You reach out to touch it, and it dissolves away into nothing. Oh. It belongs to me. No one can take it from me until I die. You need to find the crystal that belongs to you. So, this week we are yielding. So that actually gives us a bonus to royal demeanor, history, and faith, and a penalty to weapons and lumen. Lumen is magic skill. So, week 6, we are studying composure and elegance. You practice positive thinking, maintaining a good self-image, and conditioning yourself to carry on rather than be frustrated by any past misstep. You practice standing and walking with books balanced on your head. As you are walking, presumably with books balanced on her head, you spot a familiar figure in the palace gardens. It's the Duchess of Ursul. Maybe I should go and say hello. Then you notice that seated beside her is a woman in the robes of a priestess. They are very close together, their hands gently touching as they speak. Looks like she's busy. You turn and walk in a different direction so as not to disturb them. At that moment, you notice something unusual. It looks like someone just left the palace grounds by going over the hedge. Was that a servant, a thief, or an assassin? So we're going to call the guards. Guards! However, by the time the response is organized and directed to the area beyond the palace, there's no sign of any intruder. You wonder if you were only imagining it. So now we're going to talk to Dad. Dad, what happened to Mom's lumen crystal? It's in a safe place. Can I have it? No. But it's mine! Meddling with magic killed your mother. I don't want that to happen to you. Once you're crowned queen, I can't stop you from doing anything you want, but for now you are still a child. So, I've said this before, but the one time he exerts his authority is just to make our lives difficult. Oh my god. Okay. So we'll just do a quick save here. And we'll study presents. You stare at yourself in the mirror and practice focusing on transmitting energy only with your eyes, turning the intensity of your gaze on and off at will. You practice using different styles of breathing in order to feel more energetic and to let that energy surround you for others to share. We have a new outfit. As you are walking up the stairs, a maid comes running down holding a towering pile of linen. You gracefully step aside and let her pass. So, attend service. Now we're yielding again, and we'll check out the new outfit. I don't think we unlocked this last time, so it's pretty cute. It's very queenly. We can just keep that on. So we're gonna study more presents, it looks like. You plant your feet in a strong stance, imagining that you are a tree deeply rooted in the earth. You can feel that power within you, and you know that you will not be pushed aside. You practice focusing your attention on individuals as you pass, letting them feel a brief connection with you before you formally acknowledge them with a nod. You practice being aware of your environment, seeing everything as it transpires around you and feeling that you are in control of all of it. So, there is a man here to see you. He wishes crown funding for a project of his. Remember, the treasury is not unlimited. If you choose to invest, you will have less money to work with later. Your Royal Highness, I have a plan to print books using metal letters which can be moved and reused. I need to borrow 875 lassie to assemble the metal and factory to mold the cast and type. With this system, we will be able to create new books in a fraction of the time it takes now and make copies to send all over the world. So last time we were able to invest, but this time we don't have any knowledge of economics, so I don't know much about factories or trade. Would that really be worthwhile? We are not interested. So that's kind of sad, but we're going to visit Juliana. My father says I can't have the crystal until I'm queen, so we'll just have to wait. There may not be time to wait. This world is filled with dangers, and you will need the powers of Lumen to fight them. You can't begin training until you have bonded with your crystal. Well, what else am I supposed to do about it? The crystal is probably held under guard in the royal treasury. You are the princess. You should be able to find a way inside. Otherwise, we might have to take drastic action. We don't want to deal with Juliana's drastic action, so we're just going to say, I'll try to find a way in. Alright, I will get into the treasury. So, I have in my notes now to put on the royal demeanor outfit, and this is because it gives you a little bit of a bonus to your skill checks. So we're going to need that in order to actually pass the skill check when we visit the treasury. So you practice sitting calmly while your teacher circles around you and makes unexpected loud noises at random intervals. You practice the elegant way to hold and sip from a teacup, your pinky slightly extended for balance. You are strapped into a corset and a hoop skirt and practice walking with these. The corset makes it hard to breathe and twist, and the skirt sways out of control if you move too rapidly. So here is Banyan. He's the Duke of Marie, and a pain in the butt sometimes. So his sister is the Duchess of Hellas. Your Highness, my sympathies for your loss. Even after all these years, I sometimes forget that my own mother will never be coming back. Thank you. However, I must call for your aid. The Ixionite occupation of the county of Imbrium has gone on for too long. Now is the time to push back. His sister, the Duchess of Hellas, started trouble in Ixion 4 years ago, so they invaded his territory as payback. I don't know anything about the military. I don't want to fight. There must be a peaceful way to settle this. I will send for diplomats from Ixion to try to come to some arrangement. Thank you, Your Highness. If I might say so, you are looking particularly lovely this day. I hope you will think fondly of me. Is he flirting with me? He's almost as old as my father. So he's currently single, he's unattached, and the hand of the most powerful noble in the land is currently also free. So even though she's half his age, he is trying to make that political move. Yeah, we do visit the treasury. You order the guards to stand aside and walk forward with your head held high. None of them dares to deny you access to your own treasury. The glitter is dazzling, but some sixth sense draws you towards one little locked box in particular. This is what you need. This is the crystal that will make you a lumen. You tuck the box into your pocket. You can show it to your mentor later and get instructions on what to do next. So we're gonna save again. So week 10, we're gonna do more composure and elegance. At your command, your teacher strikes your palm with a leather pause, and you learn to bear the sting. You lie on a couch and try to remain relaxed while your teacher smacks your heels with a leather twas. Whatever that is. Okay. You practice graceful arm gestures for every motion, from offering your hand for a kiss to taking hold of a banister at the stairs. The representative from Ixion is here. Be careful. No one wants to give up prizes that they have won. You have the full support of my sister and myself, Your Highness. Huh. Let's get this over with. A lot of support there from Bryn. Your Royal Highness, thank you for granting me this audience. I am sure we can come to an amicable agreement. Let bygones be bygones, no? We will forget about your unprovoked attacks on us, and you will transfer the rights to this little province. It was the Duchess of Hellas who tried to take over part of Ixion's territory without the support of my mother, the Queen. We can be good neighbors again without any lives being lost. So we have unlocked a new option to punish the Duchess of Hellas because it's her fault. But actually, we're going to intimidate them instead. You are trespassing on our lands. You will withdraw your troops at once. Only then will we have peace. So we're going to threaten to attack, because that's the only thing we got. My soldiers are poised to destroy you. Withdraw now. And because we are so overwhelmingly present, I suppose, we succeed in scaring him off. He says, very well. Phew! So now we can visit Juliana. I got it! I got the crystal. What do I do now? Pick up the crystal with your bare hands. Press it against your chest, over your heart, and say, illuminate. Okay. Here we go. Illuminate. Yay! Magical girl transformation sequence. You feel dizzy and both larger and lighter than you were before. The crystal has disappeared from view, but you know where it is. Wow. The priestess here is a friend of mine. I will come to your lessons in the faith and train you to use your powers. So Aldi is very cheerful now. That's pretty cool. Haven't been cheerful in a while. And now we're gonna start our magic classes. So week 11 is resist. Check. You increase your awareness of your own thoughts and emotions, making it more difficult for mind-affecting magic to twist your reactions. You learn to consciously project a magical field through your thoughts, blocking outside magic from touching your mind, but only when you have the energy to consciously resist. There are reports that a Keithong has been sighted leaving the old forest. What's a Keithong? A beast with the body of an enormous golden cat, a sharp beak, and spikes on its back. Eek! Several disappearances in southern Coloris are already thought to be the work of this creature. So that's actually the king's land. He's the Duke of Coloris. What do we do? Should we send hunters? The traditional policy on stray beasts is to hope that they return to the forest and stay there. Hunters are no match for such creatures. You would only make it angry and waste more lives. So, we just let it eat people? Everyone dies in the end. Okay, Dad. So, now we're gonna sneak out, because we're depressed. We sneak out of the castle to have a little fun. You enjoy your freedom, but your father won't like it if he finds out. So now we're willful, and that is good for magic and intrigue, I think. I can check. Intrigue, military, lumen. Yeah. So, wield magic. Yep. You learn to summon a small glowing light which you can then move around independently. You learn how to cast rays of white light which can banish shadows and blind your opponents. You learn to create tiny discs of solid light which can fly through the air and cut into targets. There is a woman here to see you. She wishes crown funding for a project. Thank you for seeing me, Your Royal Highness. I come to you on behalf of the people. I wish to build a hospital where any citizen afflicted with disease could be brought for treatment. Putting all the sick people together? Wouldn't that make them die even faster? Says Elodie, who doesn't know how to treat illnesses. We are not interested. So we didn't get to invest in either of the major projects this time around. But that's okay. We're going to attend service. We are still willful. We're going to resist magic. No, resist and sense, it appears. Yep. Here we go. You gain innate resistance to light and dark. You can now see in the blackest caves or stare into the sun without going blind. You close your eyes and learn to feel the magic inside you. You are requested to stand in judgment. A woman has been convicted of attempted murder and requests the mercy of the crown. So this is Kevin, the Earl of Io. He is the uncle to our friend Briony. Your Highness, this slattern dares to beg pardon when she admits she tried to poison my sister under her own roof. Which sister? Corisande, the Duchess of Mead. Is she all right? She is unharmed. We caught the culprit in the kitchens before anyone could eat her foul spew. Well, what do you have to say for yourself? It's justice, it is. Them devils killed me brother and broke me mam's heart. Lied to her they did when she went to see why he'd not come back. Said he'd gone for a soldier, when he never would. He weren't the only one, neither. I waited 10 years for my chance to get my own back. That's justice. You see, she's completely unrepentant. Hang her and be done with it. I don't know what this is all about. Either way, murder is a serious crime, but... So, last time we had a partial success in intrigue to know that something fishy was going on with the previous Duke, I think. So they're Corisande's father and Kevin's father. So that there actually might have been a good reason for this woman to be upset. But we don't have that this time. So we're gonna actually imprison her. You have tried to murder a noble of my domain, and I have no reason to believe you wouldn't do it again. You will be imprisoned for the rest of your life. You'll not have me! All of a sudden, she breaks loose from her guards and rushes at you. In your court dress, you are unarmed. You grope for a weapon and find only a heavy golden ornament which you hurl in her direction. Your missile flies wide of its mark. Before you have a chance to do anything else, your personal guards step into action, cutting the woman down before she can endanger you. Her lifeless body lies bleeding on your carpet. Clean that up. So, now that we've just had a brush with death, we're going to visit our mother's tomb. You pay your respects to your mother's tomb and wonder if the same fate is waiting for you. So that was eventful. We're going to do sense magic. Morning and afternoon. Yep. You practice using small amounts of magic and feeling that power outside of yourself. Your mentor summons up magical energies to strike the nearby ground so that you can learn to sense someone else's spells and use. So we've unlocked a new outfit. You close your eyes and call out when you detect your mentor casting a silent spell beside you. You learn to detect ongoing enchantments such as blessed weapons that can do magical damage. As you are walking one day in the gardens, you hear a strange sound and look up to see an owl flying overhead. A single dry leaf flutters in its talons. That's funny. I thought owls were nocturnal. I guess I was wrong. So that's an omen, but We don't have any divination, so we didn't know what it meant. And we're going to visit the treasury. You visit the royal treasury and check your available funds. You have 9,996 gold lassie and 16 silver lassie. So we're going to, I guess, check out the new outfit. Yep, that's a new outfit. I don't like it nearly as much, to be completely honest. So let's see here. We're on week 15. More sense magic, it looks like. You learn to tell the difference between different kinds of magical signatures so that you can tell roughly what a spell you detect is meant to achieve. You expand your magical perceptions to give you some idea of where a detected spell was cast from and how long ago. You learn to detect the latent power that signifies a lumen even when he or she is not actively working magic. You expand your senses, learning to detect spells and magical creatures at a greater distance. You learn to detect lingering traces of strong magic from the past, even when the spell has long since completed. Now, we have nothing more to learn about sense magic. We maxed it out! Hooray! Remember that the festival of the Good Lady is approaching. Our father says, there will be public celebrations for the commoners, followed by a grand gala for the nobility. A grand ball. There will be dancing. We don't know how to dance. At this point, when I was first learning the game, I would always scramble. I would be like, oh my god, I need to learn to dance. Not really. It'll be fine. As queen, you would be expected to lead the procession and take part in the ceremonial planting, possibly give a speech at the Festival of the Good Lady. However, since you are not yet crowned, it is not required, and it may not be safe to expose you to the public. What do you mean, not safe? Outside of the castle, you are less well protected. If anyone means you harm, think on it now, decide later. There is a letter for you as well. It's from Briony. I went to school with her, but she's a couple years older than me. Her mother is the Duchess of Mead, so the one who was almost poisoned by that lady who got murdered in front of us. She's complaining that her mother still won't let her come home for the holidays. Apparently her Uncle Kevin has been acting strangely lately and shouting at shadows. She's bored and looking for an adventure. Well, I don't have any to suggest to her. Yeah, Kevin has a very sad and tragic story. But anyway, we're going to attend court this week. Sitting in on court sessions is not fun at all, but it pleases your father and it may be important for your future. So we are depressed again. That's unfortunate. We're going to study presence and elegance, even though we have a penalty right now. Presumably for the parade. You practice giving commands to the castle staff, neither asking nor demanding, but telling them what needs to be done. As long as you believe it to be true, they will as well. You practice watching people and willing them to feel your gaze on them. Inevitably, they will be drawn to you. You practice eating slowly with a minimum of mess, chewing each bite a set number of times before swallowing. Today is the procession and planting for the Festival of the Good Lady. Will you be leading the parade? If you have any concerns about your safety, please stay here. The people will recover from disappointment. If we lose you, there is no recovery. So I'm going to lead the parade and not make a speech this time. I'm not afraid. I'm going to be the best parade leader ever. My little girl. You prepare your best gown for the occasion, then walk slowly through the town with your attendants. It would not be appropriate for you to wear a sword, but you do walk with a sturdy golden scepter that's taller than you are. You can tell from the excited murmurs around you that people are impressed with your queenly appearance. which is different from last time when we looked kind of silly. At the end of the route, you help the priestess turn over the earth and for the new tree to be planted. Then the new life is blessed and all attendants join in song. The procession regroups to return to the castle. So we're going to visit the treasury again. And now it is week 17. We're going to boop, do a little save. Check the skill screen. Composure and elegance for week 17. You are strapped into a tight, heavy armor and made to walk around in it, learning that any attempt at sudden movement will catch painfully or trip you up. Slow and steady is the way to go. You practice standing up, sitting down, and picking up items from the floor. Bend at the knees, not at the waist. Are you ready for the grand ball? All the nobles in the domain are here to see you, to see their queen. Gulp. You finish dressing and descend the stairs to make a grand entrance. All around, the rich and powerful pause in their activities to gaze upon you, the ruler of them all. You let your eyes rest upon each in turn as you have been taught, impressing upon them that you are not a child, but a queen. Your father waits for you at the bottom of the stairs and offers you his arm. The first dance is for us. He guides you gently around the dance floor, never rushing you. It's fun to dance with your father, but the look in his eyes is so sad. After this, you must choose your own partner. There are a number of men who hope to catch your eye. The Duke of Kegel alone has brought 3 eligible sons, all near your age. You look around the room at all your possible partners, which is to say, everyone. No one may begin dancing until you do. You can pick whomever you want, and you will not be denied. If you pass the intrigue check there, you will know the names of everyone here who you can pick. We're going to pick someone about our age, because that seems appropriate. You approach Linley, the second son of the Duke of Kegel. He's about 2 years older than you, and he was always nice to you at school. He bows to you with great courtesy, and you begin to dance. Dancing with a real partner feels quite different from dancing with your father. You knew his steps like a part of you. Now every move is a mystery. Unfortunately, you lose track of which steps you're supposed to do when and trip over your own feet. Oops! Between the dances, there is time for the guests to mingle, chat, and sample tiny bits of exquisite food. During a lull in the music, Banyan, the Duke of Marie, taps an elegant fingernail against a wineglass, letting a clear note ring out through the room. So Banyan is pretty happy with us because we intimidated Ixion into leaving his territory. So, if I might have your attention, I believe we should offer our compliments to our lovely hostess. Her words of wisdom guide us through our difficulties. Everyone applauds politely. As the gala continues, you take the opportunity to observe nobles that you rarely see. There's Gwenelle, for instance, the young lady of Sudbury, only months older than you and due to finally inherit control of her duchy soon. Or Adele, the youngest daughter of the Duchess of Lila, and a fierce sportswoman. She was a few years ahead of you at school and the absolute terror of the ball fields. I think the Duchess of Lila is a Reese. I'm not totally sure. Anyway, no Briony. She said her parents were leaving her stuck at school this season. Her parents are here, dancing together, the Duke Consort clutching his Duchess possessively tight. Strange that there's no sign of your cousins, though. Shouldn't they be here? Your aunt and uncle are here, of course. It would be scandalous if they hadn't come, Merva being so close by. There's something itching at your senses, something familiar. Then it hits you. Aunt Lucille is a Lumen. So we're going to talk to her. Aunt Lucille, may I speak with you privately? Of course, dear. You withdraw to a small side room. I can sense your powers. You're a Lumen. What? I am too. That's how I know. Can't you sense that? No, I can't. She looks down, shaking her head. I do have a Lumen crystal. I found it years ago. It called to me, but I don't know anything about magic. I can make the crystal appear and disappear, and I can block out sound with it. That's all. I don't think that's true at all. There are traces of old magic all around her, too faint to make sense of, but strong. Why keep it hidden? It's not illegal to be a lumen. Magic is dangerous. Everyone knows that. People might think I was an evil witch. They wouldn't trust me. Look at how much trouble the Duchess of Ersul has. Please, Your Highness, don't tell anyone. So, in this playthrough, we're going to assume she's lying about how much magic she's done because she's afraid that people will expose her as a witch. And we're going to offer her a court position. What I think is that I should tell everyone that you are my new Lumen minister. What? Lumens have power. If you train with me, you'll become even stronger. I want that strength here, to defend the capital. You'll have status and recognition, and no one will dare to call you a witch. What do you say? I accept. Good. It's nice to be able to enjoy time with friends and family, isn't it? And now we're going to attend court. Sitting in on court sessions is not fun at all, but it pleases your father and it may be important for your future. I've already read that a couple times. I didn't need to read it again. Now we are pressured, it looks like. We're going to need to put some points into lonely. We're going to study elegance and presence. You practice speaking and laughing quietly, not trying to disappear or go unheard, but focusing your energy into a smaller space so that it draws people closer. You practice sitting quietly and listening to conversations of others without becoming bored or restless. You practice standing in attractive positions in full costume and maintaining those poses for long periods of time. Nothing more to learn about elegance. You imagine things that will happen in the near future and then convince yourself and others that those things will happen. You organize a group of castle staff and coach them through carrying out a complicated, multi-stage task. You have nothing more to learn about presence. So we're very, very queenly. You wander downstairs to visit your father and talk about the latest events in the domain. You're moving with such enthusiasm that you don't realize your father isn't alone until it's too late to avoid him and his companion. Siren, Countess of Miranda and Callisto. You are too kind, Jocelyn. Countess Siren, not a member of your circles. She's a bit more than a decade your senior, far too old to have ever been your friend. And yet, not all that old, as noblewomen go. She has 2 minor titles, no husband, and your father's arm in her grasp. You take a deep breath. So, we're going to greet her politely. You manage to smile at her in what you hope is a welcoming manner. Good day to you, Countess. Your Highness, good day to you as well. I was just speaking with your father about, well, it wasn't important. Please allow me to excuse myself. I don't wish to be in the way. She bows her head to you and exits. Once she's gone, you raise an eyebrow at your father. Don't give me that look, young lady. She's a nice woman, nothing more. She wants something more, and it's not going to happen anytime soon. You should be careful how you deal with people like Siren. You need the goodwill of your nobles as well as your commoners. There haven't been any problems so far. As queen, you must be aware of everything around you. I am paying attention to what's around me. Though we don't get to control our spies this time around. We failed the intrigue check there. Oh well. Walk in the gardens. A walk in the fresh air helps you forget the burdens on your shoulders. We're going to do resist magic. Lumen. Resist. Yep. You learn to consciously project a magical shield around your body, blocking intrusion, a powerful technique, but you can't keep it up for long. You gain increased resistance against heat and cold, becoming comfortable in different weather and environments. and able to sip hot soup without burning your tongue. Oh, that's cute. You learn how to quickly flare magical shields around you to deflect an incoming attack. This uses much less energy than a constant shield, but it requires good timing to be effective. You learn how to maintain a low-level deflection field so that magical attacks not directly targeted at you will slide harmlessly aside. This doesn't need much power, so you can keep it up for long periods of time. You learn how to directly counter offensive magic with your own power so that you can burn out a spell that someone else has cast. This is very dangerous if the other spell is too powerful. It is the time of year to decide any necessary adjustments to the royal budget. The majority of the money we receive is already spoken for, but there is always some room for discretion. I don't know anything about budgets. We're going to lower taxes. I think we have enough money. Let's lower the taxes a little. As you wish. Again, I think it's strange that you can't just say, well, I don't know anything, so let's keep them the same. I don't want to mess with it, right? But composure. What do we have left in composure? Alright. Your teacher smears your body and clothes with strawberry jam and makes you rock around like that for hours, facing the funny looks and snickers aimed at you without hiding or becoming angry. Wow, alright. You practice walking over smoldering coals with bare feet. So long as you keep moving steadily and do not panic and freeze or run, you are not burned. Your teacher gathers up some of the castle staff to shout insults at you, while you practice staying calm and not bursting into laughter. Your teacher instructs you on a game of cards, teaching you to bluff with a straight face. You have nothing more to learn about composure, so all of royal demeanor is maxed out. You are requested to stand in judgment. A man has been convicted of the murder by strangling of his wife. He does not deny the act, but requests a pardon that he might be set free. If you admit you killed your wife, why do you think I'm going to set you free? Save me, your majesty! Wasn't my fault! Demons made me do it. Everyone knows the power of the magical beasties. They used me. They twisted my fingers into chains. My wife found me screaming. She tried to shake me, and the chains wrapped around her. I need the priestesses to bless me and make me clean again. Demons? This man is a lumen. Where did he get a crystal? We're gonna ask him about that. It was a demon's magic that killed your wife, not your own magic. So you know what I am. He throws out his hands, and his fingertips elongate into floating strings of gold. Die! Golden chains slash at you like whips. With so much warning, of course, it is easy for you to resist. His attack bounces harmlessly off your shields, the chains flying back in the direction from which they came, where they find an easier target. Before your eyes, the renegade Lumen is choked to death by his own powers. After a moment, an orange crystal materializes next to his body. I guess I'll have to take that for safekeeping. We're gonna visit the treasury. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. I literally don't remember when the last time I saved was. It was probably last week, but I don't know. Wield magic. By concentrating, you can create a wave of discontent which panics or enrages animals in the area. You learn to create a blade of solid light, which you can wield like a sword to slice through flesh and stone alike. You learn to direct a beam of searing light through the end of a staff, burning whatever you point at it. By concentrating, you can create a wave of discontent which panics, confuses, or enrages other people around you. You learn to shape light into images of things that are far away, or things that don't exist at all. My lady, there is a letter for you. Who sent this? It isn't signed. It appears to be a poem, describing you in a manner that is entirely inappropriate for a queen. What? With a squid? That's hilarious. That's actually pretty funny. Just then, an incredibly unlucky breeze swirls between the windows of your tower bedroom, tugging the paper out of your hands and off into the sky. You stick your head out the window to discover the poem caught and fluttering on the roof nearby. You can almost reach it. We're gonna ignore it. What's the worst that can happen? It blows off and someone reads it and laughs at you? That's better than breaking your neck. Besides, if you're lucky, it will rain and wash the words away. We're gonna visit Juliana. If you attack an enemy lumen and you win, and they leave behind a crystal, is it possible to combine that crystal with mine to make it stronger? Each lumen can only hold one crystal. The only way to combine their magic is if a living wielder chooses to join its power to another. Oh, so I should destroy other crystals to stop anyone from using them against me. That is the traditional policy, but it is a lie. Lumen crystals cannot be destroyed. Rulers claim otherwise to discourage thieves from seeking dangerous treasures. What am I supposed to do with the crystal then? Guard it, or hide it, or give it into other hands to wield. But if the last holder of the crystal was an enemy, the resonance of the crystal will work against you. It will be attuned to a personality as foolish or violent or scheming as the lumen you defeated. So anyone taking the crystal would probably become a new enemy. That's useless. A weak-willed candidate might be acceptable to the crystal and yet still controllable. You could then steer that lumen away from dangerous paths, making an ally and changing the crystal's resonance. It is, however, a dangerous endeavor and one that requires your complete attention. Not really a project I can work on while I'm so busy studying for my coronation. Well, it's only one crystal. That's not too much trouble. Yep, only one. Definitely only one. We're gonna resist and wield. So we're gonna max out. Cool beans. Your increased skill and power gives you an innate resistance to mind-affecting magic. Your understanding of the flow of power gives you increased resistance to damage caused by magic even without a shield. You can still be hurt, but less than an ordinary human would be. You learn to create a powerful explosion of light, burning those caught within and blinding others who look at it. You learn how to make use of images to wield your other powers at a great distance. I regret to inform you that Fabian, the Earl of Titan and Duke Regent of Elath, has passed away. This wasn't really a surprise. He was pretty old. The problem is the political implications. With the control of Elath in doubt, it falls to the crown to make decisions. Young Lord Adair will not reach his 15th birthday for over 2 years. He requires a regent. His stepmother, Aris, the Duchess of Lilla, has petitioned that the boy be left in her care. This would, however, leave her in personal control of 2 neighboring duchies, which is generally forbidden. Almost the entire eastern border. I don't know anything really bad about her, though. The boy does have a living grandfather, the Earl of Ishtar, or he might appoint an unrelated noble to act in his stead. The Earl of Ishtar has suggested another possibility. You and Adair are both young, not too far apart in age. He requests that we accept the boy as your future husband and keep him here at the castle. So we didn't have that option last time because we were already engaged to the Duke of Sedna. And actually, I had said that something bad was going to happen if we left him with his grandfather, but that was prevented by something that we did previously. So he was safe. He grew up just fine with his grandfather. And I also said last time that Fabian was his grandfather, and that we were sending him to his other living grandfather, but actually, Fabian was his father. So I was wrong about that. But that's, you live and you learn, so, we're gonna actually leave him with Aris. Adair must be upset enough already without us taking him away from his home. Leave him with his stepmother. As you wish. So that's a politically risky move if we did anything to upset the nobility. Ariz can actually be the leader of a civil war. But the nobles are happy with us, so it's not going to be a problem that we're giving her that much power. We're going to explore the castle. You wander through the parts of the castle where other people rarely visit, but find little except spider webs. Yuck. So now we're going to switch over into expression. Yeah. You practice deep breathing exercises to build up your ability to sustain a note. You learn the differences in resonance between the chest, the head, and the nose. There is a woman here to see you. She is a musician and wishes crown patronage, which means money. Your Royal Highness, if you accept me as a member of your court, I will immortalize you in word and song. I have dabbled in musical styles from many countries and can entertain your guests and lighten your evenings. I wonder if she also writes naughty poetry, like that squid poem that blew out the window. The musician sings a little ditty to demonstrate her skills with the lute. She's actually pretty good, but we don't want to accept her. We don't have time for this. Thank you, but we are not interested. We're going to play with our toys. We're going to study instrument. We don't need a musician. We make our own music. You tap out chiming dyads on a glockenspiel, learning the basics of harmony and rhythm. You learn to play notes and scales on a simple wooden recorder. You receive a letter from young Lord Adair. It's a bit messy and hard to read, but he seems to be thanking you for letting him stay with the family he knows. So that's really sweet. We're gonna attend court. Yep. Let's check our skills. Yeah, you can see we're very, very specialized this time around. We only put points into court manners so we wouldn't accidentally get engaged. And I don't know why we unlocked foreign affairs. But maybe just to know that the Duchess of Hellas was responsible for that thing. The Ixion. But we didn't even really use that. So we just intimidated them. Oh well. Voice and decoration. You learn about different vocal ranges, from the most profound bass to the rare coloratura soprano. You discuss the nature of beauty, looking around at landscapes, objects, and people, and comparing their aesthetic elements. Staring up into the sky out your window, you notice a strange flash of light. A falling star. Pretty. So we're cheerful about that. That's cool. We're gonna attend the service. And now we're gonna study decoration. Decoration. Yep. You practice sketching fruits and flowers with charcoal on parchment. You study the theory of color, how they complement and contrast, and how to select colors to emphasize a mood. We unlocked the toga! Yay! You learn to mix paints and apply them to canvas, capturing the light and color of the castle gardens. What a beautiful day! It's nice to stop and breathe sometimes. So something can happen during that week. I'm not sure what event usually triggers there. Might be the Civil War. But, because we've been doing things to avoid whatever thing happens there that's bad, we just had a nice, uneventful week. So we're going to attend service. Let's look at the toga. I love the toga. Oh my god. Look how cute it is. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it so much. We're gonna study meditation for some reason. Okay. I don't know what that's for. You practice assuming a sitting position that allows you to be relaxed and tranquil without being so relaxed that you are likely to fall asleep. You close your eyes and relax every muscle of your body in turn, letting that feeling travel down through you from your head to your fingertips and toes. My lady, there are letters for you. Another letter from Briony. Why does she keep writing me? We were never even friends. She says she's bored and lonely and she's looking forward to seeing me at Gwenelle's birthday party. That's right, Gwenelle is about to turn 15. She'll be Duchess of Sudbury for real now. The other letter must be my invitation to her birthday celebration next week. Gwenelle and I were friends at school, and this will be a big event, but it's also a long way to travel. A lot of things can happen on the road. Well, it says we're going. We're going. It'll be good to see my friends. I'm going to attend service. Okay. I'm not totally sure. Well, we might not run into the assassins. I'm actually not sure if we run into the assassins. But we're studying lore now. Only a lumen can channel magic, and only with the help of an attuned crystal. The ability to control a crystal seems to be inherited, so crystals can be passed from parent to child upon the lumen's death. The kings and queens of Nova have all been lumens for centuries, but in modern times, magic is only used for ceremonial occasions and for the direst of emergencies. Gwenelle's party is lovely, not nearly as glamorous as your own upcoming birthday will be, of course, but it's still a major event on the noble social calendar. Everyone who is anyone is present. Uncle Laurent and Aunt Lucille are here, along with all three of their children. Charlotte rushes over eagerly to see you. Hi, Liddy, guess what? Hi, Lottie, what is it? Mummy said after your coronation I can come to stay at the castle with you, and we can talk about, magic. That's great! However, it seems that the assembled nobles are not eager to converse with the Countess of Nyx and her family. The position of Lumen Minister may be damaging Aunt Lucille's social cachet. There are refreshments and dancers and musicians and polite conversations, and one or two not so polite. So, Leek, the Countess of Dis, she looks a lot like our aunt, but I guess she's not actually related to our aunt. Anyway, I guess they just have the same hairstyle. So she says, will not be shoved aside. Mother, it's my domain now. I need space for myself. You have your own lands to manage. Just because you're of age doesn't mean you know everything, young lady. You need my advice. This is my home. It has never been yours. Before you can back away, their gazes fall on you. They wait expectantly for you as near queen to settle the dispute. So, unfortunately, we can't flatter both of them and get off with not really having picked a side. So we're going to side with Gwenelle. You heard her. She's an adult now, and she's in charge here. Thank you. Is this what your father will face upon your coronation? Cast aside without another word? Hopefully, yes. Dad's kind of useless. He's not going to like hearing that, is he? A bit later, Briony catches up with you. Hey, Elodie, it's so wonderful that you're going to be queen now. I mean, I am sorry about your mother. Thanks. But think of the opportunities you're going to have. You're so lucky. That's an odd way of putting it. Anyway, I was wondering, now that you're almost queen and everything, have they told you all the secrets? What secrets? Like how to get into the old palace. I've heard it's packed full of treasure. Old palace? The one at Cathra Lake, where the kings and queens of Nova used to live. I don't know anything about it. Oh. She bites her lip and frowns at you. Well, never mind then. She walks away. So much for wanting to talk to you. At the end, you all share a pleasant meal and prepare to return to your various lands. Now we're gonna visit the dungeons. You wander through the castle dungeons, but see nothing of interest. So, I guess we avoided the assassin attempt. That's interesting. I'll file that away. We're gonna do meditation and lore, and I'm still not sure why, but my guide says so. You take slow, deep breaths, letting the air move through your body, feeling it give you life and energy. Long, long ago, the continent of Borelius was ruled over by a single witch king until a rival line of lumens challenged for the crown. The resulting war went on for 800 years, with powerful spells that damaged the land so badly that even now, no plants will grow. So, the Duchess of Lila has sent you a gift. So that's Aris, the stepmother of, what's his face? The small boy. It's a cushion, finely embroidered with the design of a running horse. It's well done and clearly required hours and hours of needlework, but it's also fairly useless. That's nice, I guess. We're gonna keep it. Find a chair or sofa to set it on. So that's like a nice token that she gave us for letting her keep her stepson by her side, because she cares for him. Attend service, also probably because it gives her a lot of political power. Anyway, it's just a token. You attend services in the Castle Grove, letting the peace of the ritual calm your heart. We're going back to decoration, which I do know why we need that. I don't know why we need meditation and lore. You study the art of floral design, seeing how the proper arrangement of flowers can affect the character of a room or an outdoor space. You experiment with wax, learning both to build up small amounts and shape them together and to carve out patterns from larger wax blocks to find the shapes already inside. You experiment with fashion, trying on different outfits and watching as others do the same, learning how clothing can enhance or diminish certain physical features and give the impression of youth or age. You practice all the techniques of needlework, from simple mending to dressmaking and embroidery. The Duchess of Mead is here to see you, my lady. Hello, Elodie. I'm sorry to trouble you, but have you seen Briony? Not since the party last week. She shakes her head. She's gone missing. She's not at school where she should be. I know she was unhappy, but I never expected. She was asking questions at the party about the old Novan Palace, but then she wandered off. I'm sorry, I really don't know. Oh no. Oh, Briony, what have you done? She hurries out of the room without even bothering to say farewell. Yeah, so our friend Briony went to the old dark forest, or the old Novan forest, or whatever it's called, and presumably got eaten by monsters. That's what happened. You remember the Keithong from the beginning? They live. That's where the old forest is. It's in Caloris. It's full of magical beasts that will eat you. The only way Briony will survive that is if we intervene diplomatically, or if we go with her and physically save her from the monsters, which we did not do. So, we're going to visit the dungeons. Week 31. We're going to go back to Faith and do divination for a little bit. You learn that the gods cannot be forced to divulge information about the future, and the most powerful omens are those which arrive unexpectedly. Dropping your favorite plate is bad luck. A statue spontaneously shattering is a bad omen. You read about well-known signs of bad fortune: wells turning sour, dry lightning, strange fish caught in nets, malformed babies being born, and so on. As you are walking through the great hall, a freak gust of wind suddenly blows out all the candles in the room. How strange, there must be an open window somewhere. We don't have the divination to know what that is, even though we just took divination. So that's kind of stinky. We have a new outfit. A priestess robe. I like the priestess robe, it's pretty cute. I guess we can leave it on for a little bit. We're going to study some lore. It's class appropriate, I suppose. Legend has it that long ago, a horde of Yeveni on the back of tentacled monsters rode into the Valley of Mead, laying waste to all in their path. Their conquest was only halted when a Lumen raised a great flood to drown the invaders. Legend says that an island domain of Melini was once a single island instead of a cluster, until an invading Novan queen raised a terrible pillar of fire that shattered the land into pieces. So yeah, the more you learn about lore, the more you see that magic can be very damaging. At the height of the Nomad Empire, all the major dukes and duchesses were lumens, and they conquered their enemies with beams of light and terrible summoned monsters. Those monsters eventually broke loose, killing their captors and destroying the old capital on the Cathray Lake. The resulting chaos shook the empire. 200 years ago, a great force of darkness covered Nova, threatening to wipe out all life in the domain. It took the self-sacrifice of the queen and her complement of lumens to defeat that doom. Only the Duke of Ursul refused to join in the defense and therefore survived. So that's the reason why the Duchy of Ursul is the only other keeper of the magic besides the crown, is actually that little tidbit there. Things have been so unsettled lately. Everyone's on edge. We need something cheerful. You could hold a tournament. What a good idea! Knights, jousting, musicians, all sorts of competitions. Everyone loves a contest. What will you offer as prizes to the winners? What will we offer? Status and praise. Being declared the best in front of an entire domain should be prize enough for anyone. Very well, I will draft the announcements. You leave him to his work. And we're going to visit Juliana. Psst, I need to talk to you. What is it? That priestess, Celine, our faith tutor, she's a lumen. I can sense it. I know. What do you mean you know? If you knew that, why didn't you tell me? You didn't need to know. Your job is managing the domain. Some of us have other duties. Our missions have been passed down for centuries, little princess. Where did she get a crystal? All the lumens in the domain were supposed to have been wiped out 200 years ago. The story we just learned. Except for your ancestor. We're here to train you. You don't need to know any more than that. We're going to order her to explain. Your duty is to me and to Nova. Renegade lumens pose a threat to the entire domain. If there's a secret cabal of magic users, I need to know about it. There is no cabal. Celine and your mother and I were the only lumens that I knew before you. 200 years ago, my ancestor accepted public disgrace so that one trained lumen would survive when all others perished. We have borne that shame ever since to preserve the training and lore for the future of Nova. Do not tell me of my duty, princess. I am sworn not to queens, but to Nova. Queens die. The magic must not. So, yeah, you might not be sworn to the queen, but if you're trying to protect the country, the queen needs to know some important facts. And you are really bad at divulging important facts, Juliana. So we're going to do public speaking, actually, as it turns out, for reasons unbeknownst to me. You practice tongue-twisting sequences of syllables to improve your enunciation. You take deep breaths and practice speaking loudly and clearly, projecting your voice to every corner of a room. This is the week of the general tournament. Nobles and commoners alike have turned out to compete against one another. The people will be pleased if you participate in their games. However, it would expose you to danger. What event do you wish to take part in? We don't really have any skills here. Maybe a little bit of music, but we'd still fail. We're going to do the mounted parade. You chose to lead the parade mounted on a brilliant white horse. You don't actually know how to ride, but the horse is well trained, so all you need to do is sit up straight, look regal, and don't fall off. So that's nice, because last time we did the mounted parade, and we were just like barely clinging onto the horse's neck, looking terrified and afraid. So we did good this time, because we know how to be elegant and composed. All the winners are announced and displayed to great cheers, as near Queen you place flower garlands around their necks. All of a sudden, a man approaches the winner's platform. It's Kevin, the Earl of Io. In one hand he carries an armored gauntlet, in the other a sword. My family's blood is on your hands! What's he talking about? He casts the metal gloves to the ground with a clatter and raises his sword, pointing at you. I challenge you, Ality, a life for a life. He's challenging you to a duel? Doesn't he know you could burn him to a crisp just by waving your hand? So, we don't have many options here. Because if we accept, we don't know how to fight, and we'll die. If we refuse, he'll come after us anyway, and we'll die. We have to kill him with magic. So, that's what we're gonna do. Without a further word, you direct the full force of your magical wrath at the Earl of Io. There's a horrible scream and the smell of burning flesh. I decline. Kevin's sword falls to the ground beside his gauntlet. He won't be needing either anymore. There are two things that can trigger Kevin to attack us, and one of them is the death of Briony, which we really have nothing to do with. I guess we do a little bit more in this particular playthrough, because we got, the warning signs that she came up and was like, tell me how to get to the old forest or whatever. But, last time, she didn't tell us anything. She was just like, I'm bored. And what are we supposed to do about that? Anyway. So that was kind of sad. We killed Kevin. And now we're gonna pray our guilt away. Yep. We're gonna do flattery. It seems a little late for that, but you learn that it's important to make eye contact when you say nice things about someone. You learn that flattering compliments have the best impact when kept short. Gushing makes people feel awkward. That's true. My lady, your father wishes to speak with you. He says it's urgent. Fine, I'm coming. You find your father standing over a map of the coastline, his face grave. Ships have been sighted on the approach from Shangia. Not trade ships. This is a war fleet. What? We didn't have any warning this time. Within a week, they will be in Novan waters. Within 2, they could reach the capital. Then we will fight to defend ourselves. You can try to use the treasury funds to hire additional soldiers, but it may be difficult on short notice. We're not going to. No, it's too late for that. You will need to draw up a naval strategy for our ships to carry out. You could choose to act as admiral and lead the fleet in person, but the danger to you would be very great. Unless you think your personal skills will make the difference, I would strongly advise against it. Now this time, we're not going to direct the fleet. We're going to stay in the capital. No, there's too much to do here. I can't go to sea. And presumably my generals are competent enough to take care of this. Or my admirals. Admiral is the one that's at sea, right? So we're going to pray. Now we're going to do some court manners. Okay. Oh, I didn't read it. I did this last time with court manners too. You study rules for formal dining, including the proper utensils for different dishes. As the queen, no one will comment on your mistakes, but they will notice them. You studied the traditions of ballroom etiquette, how to politely accept or defer an offer, and how to avoid the impression of attachment to an individual. You memorized the correct title for every servant in the castle. Treating servants with respect ensures good service. Danger on the high seas! Ships close in on each other. Ships close in on each other, angling into range. The Shanjians have half again as many troops as you do. It doesn't look promising. The eventual outcome is not in your favor. The Novan ships are sunk or scattered as the Sanjian forces press towards landfall. Many good soldiers were lost today, and Nova's troubles have not ended. Since you have failed to repel the invasion, the Sanjian fleet will soon land their troops and will begin progress towards your capital city. Your remaining soldiers will hold them off as long as possible, of course, but the main strength of your military has been exhausted. Nova's future looks bleak. So, we're going to walk in the gardens. And despite that crushing military defeat, we're cheerful. Let's look at the new outfit. Tea dress. I love the tea dress. It's so cute. But we're actually going to wear this, I think. We want to look imposing. We're going to study some public speaking. You memorize lists and sonnets, then recite them for your teacher and any castle staff she can round up to serve as an audience. Your teacher asks you questions about made-up nonsense, pushing you to improvise answers smoothly and swiftly without having to worry about them being correct. Oh wow, we're being trained to be a politician. You read collections of famous historical speeches and practice saying them in convincingly dramatic fashion. You borrow the menu for an upcoming banquet and practice delivering it as a dramatic speech to an audience of confused chambermaids. You learn about debate techniques and practice them by trying to convince a castle gardener why a new fountain would be a good idea. See, I don't really read these most of the time, and they're actually really cute. The invasion of Nova is proceeding. Your coastline is under Shanjian control. Soldiers have marched through villages, trampling fields and frightening citizens. A diplomatic delegation from Sanjia has requested access to the castle to discuss terms, most likely for your surrender. You lack the strength to hold off their armies, and surrendering now will save many lives. It would seem you have no choice. You prepare yourself as best you can to meet with the representatives from Sanjia. You expected diplomats and a military representative, a general or an admiral. You did not expect the handsome man decked in jewels who now stands before you, a man announced by your servants as Togami, king of Sanjia. Is he really their king? Why would a king come all the way here? And he's a Lumen, too. My dear young lady, how difficult this must be for you. So much responsibility at such a tender age. You yearn to slap the false sympathy off his oily face, but you force yourself to remain calm. War benefits no one, don't you think? Such a terrible waste. Better to settle things in a civilized manner. A contest, a game, so to speak, with Nova at the stakes. Should I win, then your domain will submit and accept me as overlord, with no further resistance. Should I lose, then my army will leave your domain in peace and shed no more blood. What sort of game? It is well known that Nova is ruled by lumens. As it happens, I too possess the powers of a lumen. I propose a formal duel. My powers against yours. The winner takes control of Nova. The loser dies. Your game by your rules for my life? That doesn't sound fair to me. The rules of formal dueling have been passed down for centuries and must be upheld. It is important that we do this by the ancient codes. Why should I? If you refuse, then the war will continue. I'll sweeten the deal. If you meet me in a formal Lumen challenge, I'll call off the invasion, even if I win. Really? I swear it by the gods. Nova will be free and safe. Why take that risk? You're winning the war. It's not your land that I want, it's your crystal. It won't work for you. How little you know. Under the right circumstances, resonance can be changed. To gain your power, I am willing to wager my own. Shall we begin? I can sense his power. It's so strong. I've learned everything I possibly could, but he's at least as good as I am. I don't like this, but what choice do I have? So, these are our options here. We can accept his terms outright. We could offer a marriage alliance, but he's already married, so that doesn't work. We could offer to give him our power, but he has a nasty little test for you if you do that. And we wouldn't pass that test, or we could just refuse outright. In this case, we're going to accept his terms. We're gonna go head-to-head in a magic duel. Then I must. Togami explains the rules of formal dueling to you, including a carefully inscribed circle of words which will contain the effects of any powers you wield, protecting bystanders from danger. And then it is time to begin. You trade attacks, one spell sensed and countered by another, reserving your strength as much as possible. It might almost be exciting if your life weren't on the line. You need to end this quickly before his experience allows him to come up with a trick you can't defeat. He's used to dealing with magical attacks, but he might not be expecting a physical one. Perhaps if you rushed him, you could take him off guard. Up close, he can't use his fancy spells. But what would you do then? You still have to use magic to win. You can't just grab him and bang his head against the floor. Perhaps you could focus your power into the shape of a sword and attack him with that. Or maybe you could distract him somehow. You could cast a spell that he couldn't block. So, we don't have any sword skills, but we do have decoration, so we're gonna dazzle him. Drawing on your knowledge of design and your control over light, you surround yourself with strands of rainbow color which flow over and around your image. But that's only the beginning. Once you are in the cover of this prismatic shield, you can create a false image of yourself and step invisibly aside. The strain of keeping up the illusion of yourself responding to Togami's attacks is high. You can't keep this up for long. You have to end it now. Stepping up as close behind him as you dare to limit the time and space he has to react, you raise your hand and force it out a high-speed disc of solid light. It drives into his neck, killing him instantly. You have won. So now we're gonna pray our guilt away again. Yep. So we did it! We won! We have defeated the evil conquering king. And we're going to study court manners. To directly challenge someone's honor is to declare war. Never make a public accusation of cowardice, treason, infidelity, or murder unless you are prepared to face mortal enemies. And on that note, you studied the etiquette of dueling. As a monarch, you are expected to embody the virtues of honesty, bravery, and generosity. You should always offer aid to those in need. However, those you aid personally are expected to give you their utmost loyalty, even unto death. You studied the forms of written address, how to issue and decline invitations, how to announce an impending visit, and how to correspond with the rulers of foreign domains. You study the language of flowers and the secret meanings that can be communicated through the gift of a bouquet. Once you defeated the king of Sanji in a duel, the invasion was meant to be over. In practice, it is not quite so easy to expel a foreign army from your lands, particularly when their leadership is falling apart. The remaining Shanjian generals seemed surprisingly eager to go home and left without a fuss, but a large number of soldiers have broken ranks and run amok, looting and pillaging their way through Nova just for fun. A number of royal holdings have been damaged and valuables stolen. Not only do you lose them, but you will have to pay for repairs. With so many renegades on the loose, Nova seems likely to have a severe bandit problem for years to come. When Togami died, he left behind a crystal, a mauve lumen crystal, with glimmers of pink where it catches the light. Such a pretty bauble from such an ugly event. Since Nova won the duel, this crystal is now your rightful prize, but you have no idea what to do with it. For now, you lock it away in the royal treasury. So, we're gonna visit our mother's tomb. Now we're afraid. What do we have to be afraid of? I guess the bandits. Flattery. You learn that it is always better to compliment people for their personality and their choices than their physical attributes. Visual elements are best to flatter on first meeting. They are expected to be noticed right away. If you spent more time with someone, suddenly complimenting their attire will ring false. Small personal details help make the recipient of your flattery feel that you have truly noticed them, which is always better than a simple, "How nice you look." Most people want to believe that they are successful and well-liked more than they want to believe that they are handsome. Play to those beliefs and they will be inclined to enjoy your company, even if they should know better. A certain class of dramatic personality believes utterly that they are ugly and unpopular, even if this is untrue. Flattering their appearance will make them pull away and mistrust you. Instead, compliment their intelligence. This tends to be their weakness. This is true. This is very true. Visitors have arrived to help you prepare for the upcoming festivities. Your family. Good day to you, niece. I hope all is well. Hi, Lottie. Mummy said you have all the best tutors and I should take classes with you. Great. Time has slipped by you so quickly. Only 2 weeks remain before your birthday celebration and your official coronation as queen. Have you done enough to build a stable Nova? It is traditional for the palace to provide entertainment and refreshment for the common people when a new monarch is crowned. It is a rare opportunity for the poor of the land to dine like nobles. The size and scope of such a feast depends on what expense the royal treasury is willing to bear. We're going to do a respectable feast. I'm sure we can afford to give everyone in the city some bread and sausage and a bit of cake. We're going to visit Charlotte. Hi, Lottie. Hi. What's the matter? Now that she's a minister, Mummy's been telling me more about lumens. She wants me to learn about magic so I can be one when I'm older. But she says I need a crystal, and the only way to get one is when she dies, or when you die. I don't want to be a lumen anymore. Don't worry, we're both going to live a very long time. Really? I promise. So, that's pretty nice. I think we're just maxing out things. Yep. You study the rules of behavior in foreign courts so that you may seem at home in any setting. Most people want to believe that they are special and will react well to hints that they are receiving slightly better treatment than others. However, too obvious favoritism will stir resentment, and only the vain enjoy it. The most reliable form of flattery is to convey that you honestly like the target, enjoy spending time with them, and wish them to think well of you. Imitation is a form of flattery. Mirroring someone's gestures and reactions can lead them to subconsciously trust you and feel that you have a bond. Be careful not to make this seem like mimicry, though, which is insulting. The castle is buzzing with preparations for your upcoming coronation. Ministers press you with details for your favorite colors and flowers, and so on. You are happy to collaborate with the designers to ensure you are shown off to the best possible effect. You are still so young, after all. Good design will help a lot in making you look like a queen. Others are more interested in the subject of your marriage. Whomever you decide to marry will be elevated to the highest ranks of the nobility, which can mean a major shift in the balance of power. Therefore, everyone is talking about the top candidates, even though you're under no obligation to marry so young. Talorus, the Duke of Sedna, is one option. Certainly he expressed interest in marrying you earlier. Your union would bring stronger ties to the domain of Tolace, and improve the situation along the Elath border. Then there is Banyan, the Duke of Marie, a powerful and eligible noble, only about 10 years older than you. At the same age as my father. Then there's Lindley from Kegel, whom you danced with at the gala. He's only 2 years older than you, and a nice fellow. He's not the official heir to Kegel. His father has so far refused to name one, waiting to see which of his children is the most talented and dedicated to the duchy, but whether he inherits it or not, he will at least have strong ties to that region. Then there's little Adair, the eventual Duke of Elath, although at 12 he's only a child. At least, he's almost old enough to understand the concept of romance. Some people think you ought to marry Gwenelle's half-brother, Anseat, who hasn't even turned 9 yet. There are 2 or 3 minor earls around the age of 20 who might be passable alternatives, and of course you could decide to ignore noble traditions entirely and marry a commoner, if you were prepared to deal with the uproar. While you will need to marry eventually, you are still very young. You could put this decision off until later. However, a clear succession contributes to the stability of your domain. Are you leaning towards any option? I have down that I didn't pick anyone. We're a strong and independent woman, and we don't need no man. You are in no hurry to get married. You have a country to run. So we're going to visit the dungeons. You sneak a peek at some of the luckless peasants held in the dungeons, petty thieves and troublemakers, now suffering in the dark. They're obviously bad people, but seeing them so miserable still feels unfair. There must be a better way. So we're going to do public speaking and decoration. Your teacher assigns you to create and memorize a short speech of your own. Your teacher assigns you to read about a subject, memorize a few good phrases for the beginning and ending of the speech, and then make up the rest on the spot. Your teacher assigns you to read about a subject, then requires you to answer questions about it on the spot in front of an audience. You practice designing beautiful outfits from the first scrap of fabric to the last finishing touch of jewelry. You practice painting miniature portraits, capturing and in some cases enhancing each subject's unique beauty. And this time last year, you were celebrating your 14th birthday. You were in the school garden surrounded by your friends. A teacher brought you tea and cakes, while a wealthy merchant's son wove a crown of flowers for your head. It didn't matter so much that you were a princess then. Your title was something for the future. Many of your peers would be duchesses or earls or the like someday, but not then. You were children. Your parents could not attend on the actual day, but they did send wonderful gifts, some for you and some for you to share. And a week later they came for a visit, and your mother took you with her through the countryside in a splendid carriage. It was the last time you would ever see her. You wonder if, wherever she is, she can see you now. You are 15 years old, a legal adult. You have worked and studied and suffered and prepared, and now the time has come. You kneel before the priestess, barely hearing her words as she recites the blessings. She calls upon the gods to deliver peace, wisdom, and prosperity to you, and through you to all of Nova, and then she calls upon you for your oath of rulership. Will you guide and govern and protect your people to the best of your ability according to law and custom? I will. Will you, to the best of your power, uphold the ideals of love, honor, justice, and mercy? I will. Lords and ladies assembled, I present to you your undoubted queen, who has sworn her loyalty. You who have come to give homage, will you do the same? One at a time, the head of each duchy approaches your throne and kneels to swear his or her service to you and your heirs. People of Nova, I give you Elodie, the daughter of Fidelia, your true sovereign. What say you all? Long live the Queen! Thank you, I will. Alright. Oh, our dad doesn't get married. I thought because we were nice to Siren, we would see that he got remarried, but I guess not. So it says once his daughter was secure on the throne, Jocelyn returned to his birthplace to focus on his duties as the Duke of Caloris. He was pursued by many women, but showed little interest in remarrying, directing them instead to his brother, the Duke of Mazamba. As Lumen minister, Lucille requisitioned the mauve crystal that Elodie had taken from the Shanjian king and offered it to her daughter. Somewhat to Elodie's surprise, Charlotte was able to activate the crystal's power and bond with it, becoming Nova's youngest lumen. The young queen wondered if something in the careful ritual of Togumi's duel had affected the crystal's resonance. Surely her favorite cousin could not have the same personality as that madman. Following Elodie's victory over the Shanjian king, the public opinion of Luvens rose to a height that hadn't been seen in 100 years. Young children would dress up and play at being magical kings and queens. Freed from the need for secrecy, the Duchess of Juliana and the priestess Celine were able to announce their shared magical powers and their love. At Elodie's prompting, the lovers pledged their devotion to each other in a private ceremony, after which Celine retired from the priesthood to accompany her wife to Ursule. After the failed invasion, relations with Sangia remained tense. First came the recriminations and demands from the Queen of Sangia, devastated by the death of her husband, which Elodie ignored. Next came the subtler approaches, the quiet gratitude and offers for alliances from the ministers who were thrilled to see Togami gone. Elodie ignored those also, which was just as well, since the next thing to arrive was the preserved head of one of those traitorous ministers sent by the Queen of Shangia as a warning. There was no sign of war in the immediate future, but there was not likely to be an alliance either. Elodie refused to be rushed into marriage, wanting for herself the strong romantic connection that her parents had once had. It was many years before she was, at last, swept off her feet by a young earl with sparkling green eyes and a talent for pastry. He enjoyed surprising the queen with new confections and even prepared their wedding cake. The marriage produced 2 daughters, who were perhaps a little spoiled by their parents' indulgent affection. Yay, that's so cute. I think the Earl of Pastry is one of the best endings. Well, romantically, I should say. So Elodie was her mother's daughter, possessed of a royal grace and solemnity, even as a young woman. That quiet power would only deepen over the years, and thus Queen Elodie's legacy stretched into the future. So that, I think, is the royal demeanor ending. So, alright, we have completed our goal of living, first of all. We survived to Elodie's coronation, and we have created a new lumen from, by taking the crystal of one of the fallen and presenting it to our cousin Charlotte, who was able to bond with it and learn to be a magic user. So that's really cool. We completed our pro magic ending, and I'm not sure which one I have in store for next time. I think we might be going another magic route. I think we're summoning Cthulhu. I think that's, well, not really Cthulhu, but a giant kraken. That, I think, is the goal of the next campaign. So I will see you next time. I really hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below and like and subscribe if you want more. Thank you so much. This is Willow Dove signing off.